I challenge the broadcast industry to do what movies have done, to identify your program in ways that help parents to protect their children.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Broadcasting to you live from Love Canal.
Oh, it's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live here.
Western New York and all across the world. This.
Once in a lifetime, there comes a show whose sheer power eclipses all that has come before it. That show is
the Jonathan Fischer Show. And here's your host, Jonathan Fischer.
Here's Johnny.
Oh, hello everybody. How's everybody doing on this wonderful, interesting Wednesday day? Yeah, Western New York, what a crazy weather week this is. Or 2 weeks actually. You go from having a major snowstorm to deep freeze polar vortex, and then within a couple days you're up into like the 60s, and for 3 or 4 days straight everything melts that you just got, and now you have an ice storm. Unbelievable. It's just crazy. But hey, welcome to another episode of the Jon Fischer Show. So glad you guys could be with us. We've changed our format just a little bit, and I think you're going to like it. We're going to do a couple of new things. I've been tweaking around with one of them, and it's working / not working. If I go into studio mode, you're going to see my frame rate kind of drop a little. But it's just because this is how OBS works, and I really hate it. But it seems to be working good for right now, so we'll hold off, and I'll get out of studio mode. Hopefully it doesn't fuzz out on me. But we're going to follow to the script like we do on every show, and I just want to say thank you for joining again tonight. And, oh, that's one thing I forgot to do. Okay, so at the end of this episode, you're going to, if you go to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com, and just type in Niagara Podcast Channel, I'll have 3 polls up and ready for you. One of the polls we were going to discuss last week, which was the winter versus summer. What do you guys like? Are you a summer person where you like to be outside all the time? Are you a winter person, you like the cold? We'll put a poll up for that. I also have 2 more polls that I'm looking to put up too, and both are food related. I hope you get a kick out of this. The big debate about donuts. I know, and for some strange reason it popped up into my head the other day. I'm like, oh, we got to try this. Are donuts breakfast food or dessert? And we'll put that as a poll. Again, it'll be on the Facebook page. And the last one we'll do for our poll is chicken wings. Do you prefer the flats or the drumsticks? So we'll put that on. That'll be after this show. So stick around on Facebook. We'll have those 3 polls up, and then we'll go over them next week. So I'm introducing a couple new segments because the whole Trump versus Kardashian thing on Yahoo just isn't flat out working, and I'm kind of upset about it. So I'm getting rid of it, and what we're going to do is a thing called headlines. But before I get into it, let's have a little fun here. So first segment I'm going to do, oh, and for those of you who wish to chat, I have the chat thing right here. So please, if you're watching on your device or on a desktop, I'm right here. I can see it. I can read all the chat messages. If you have questions, by all means, put them on there. If you want to say something incredibly stupid and call me an idiot, fine. Put it on there. I will read it. We'll talk about it. I don't care. We'll have fun. That's what this whole show is. It's all about having fun, and we'll bounce back and forth to this. So if you want to chat, you can drop down on your device. If you have Apple, there's a chat thing right there, and if you're on the desktop, the window is off to the left. So if you're looking at me, it's off to the left. Or if you're actually looking at the screen, it's on the right. Interesting. You can also throw me a text, just like I just got now, which is kind of fun. Oh man, I'm out of my game right now. I do apologize. It's just I was fumbling things at the last minute, and I realized it changed my settings in OBS to 720. So everything now is at 720. Our frame rate is kind of low, but everything's working good. Our encoder, we don't have any more encoder issues. We don't have any more frame rate issues. My bit rate is good. Everything is good. I am good to go to stream, and that's what I was trying to do. And everything from my channel dropped from the 1080p down to 720, and I totally didn't realize that when I started setting up the show, so I had to readjust everything, and now we're good to go. So some things look a tad different from the last episode, but hopefully going forward we won't have to change that. So here we go with our new segment. We're going to call this segment just a trivia until I give it a name, but this is our trivia segment, and every time we have a trivia, I will pull out a card from this old, what is it, it's got to be like late 70s, early 80s. This is going to be funny. But a lot of this still holds true today. I was actually reading quite a few. Just want to make sure I'm good on a lot of things. We can turn that down. I was reading a few before we went on the air, and I just wanted to make sure some of these held true. Like some of these don't. Like there's things about records in certain sports that for old players used to hold, like Nolan Ryan and all that. Like these records have been beat, and it's just kind of funny. But this is the old junior trivia levels 1 and 2, and obviously you can see the age groups on here is 5 to 8 for level 1 and 9 to 12 for level 2. It's kind of interesting because there are a lot of questions in here. You would think you may or may not think you know, but it's going to be good. So this is something I'm still critiquing. I'm trying to find background music for it, but here we go. Here is, and hopefully it is focused and we're not battling with it. There it is. So on the right side, or the left side, whatever, it's on this side of the screen. That is where our trivia questions will be. I'll have them up for the duration of the show. And then at the end of the show, we'll flip the card over because that is where all the answers are. So question number 1, what actor played Star Wars and Raiders of the, what actor played in Star Wars and Raiders of the Lost Ark? Some of these are going to be pretty easy. And some of them are going to be kind of interesting. So each week, or actually each episode, I'll do 2. I'll put this one up. We'll flip it over after a segment, and I'll put a green one because the younger ones are green, which are right here, and then the older level 2 cards, which is the ones you have here, are brown. Whoops. So I'll display them, and sure, because this is a new format, I'm just getting used to how I want to present it. So when I stick to the script and I get more well rehearsed, we'll have more fun with this. Question number 2: to scatter the balls in billiard, on the first shot you blank. Number 3: the undigested food material in food is called what? Number 4: complete this sentence. Speech is silver, silence is. Number 5, what U.S. state is south of Washington? Again, pretty easy. And then when referring to time, what period does BC refer to? Obviously, the initials BC. So again, real easy. I'll host this up. We'll go into questions next. And then once we're done with questions, I'll flip over the card and you can review your answers. Of course, a lot of these are hard. And the next one will just be a random one. So there might actually be some really easy ones on there or really hard. I actually read this one before I posted it, just so I knew what I was doing. We're going to go into questions now. I did get a couple of questions and I thought were kind of interesting. Household stuff. So I'm like, I got to address these ones. These ones are easy, and I was actually kind of interested to see how other people had posted online what they felt this question was, or these 2 questions were about. So I'm going to give you basically my opinion and the educated opinion at the same time, which is kind of interesting because you'd think, really, both? Question number 1 comes from FYI Guy 010353. He asks, how often should I seal my asphalt driveway or concrete driveway? My opinion, and because I'm a homeowner and I've done this several times, I have a concrete patio that we just put in actually almost 3 years ago. So I can relate to both of these. You want to do, for an asphalt driveway, my rule of thumb is you want to do it once a year. A lot of forums you'll read online will say to do it every 2 to 3 years. Like you can get away with it. That's not 100% true. You can get away with it every 2 to 3 years if you live in the South. Driveways or areas that don't get a lot of weather wear and tear. We live up in the North, so I always recommend that if you can, because sometimes it's cheaper to do it this way. Do it just once a year. And I'm not saying it's cheaper to do this way. If you want to maintain your driveway, and if it's like an older driveway that you know it could be on its way out in the next 5-10 years, see if you can try to find a, and if it's a smaller driveway, try to do it 2 times a year. I know it's kind of asinine to think it that way. I mean, I was even thinking about doing it 2 times a year because it's so cheap to do it through a company that we have come do it. So I'm just like, why not just do it 2 times a year? Because once, you know, winter time is over, my driveway looks like crap. I want to get it sealed. And then once again, in the fall, I want to get it sealed again so that when it does take the wear and tear from the winter time, it's proper. And then when we come back to spring, it's fine. The rule of thumb, the rule of thumb with your driveway, if it's an asphalt driveway and you live in the north, you want to do it in the fall. And I say this because it basically, I don't want to say eliminates, but reduces the wear and tear on your driveway. Many forums kind of say the same thing if you live up in the north. If you live in the south, do it in the springtime because then you get the summer and it's fine and it doesn't get as much wear and tear and your driveway's, you know, okay. And usually they last, you know, when you seal any type of pavement, it lasts a good year, maybe 2. Just depends on how much road wear it gets from your car as well. Because you got to realize your cars are very heavy and it will imprint in the summertime when it's really hot. It will indent into your pavement, or not pavement, into your driveway. And it can cause divots and then obviously cracking, and then your seal's just no good anymore. So then you have to reseal. It's the whole point. But up here in the north, that's happening to us here in our driveway. We reseal it. We tried it when we first moved in. We tried it in the springtime. And we noticed by fall, our driveway was chipping. So now what we'll do is we'll evaluate the driveway when, you know, it's all cleaned, it's summer, or it's getting warmer, there's no more snow, it's not going to get the harsh winter elements on it. We'll take a look at it. If it looks fine and it's going to last through the summer, we'll try to do it like some point in the summer or towards the fall, just so we can keep the maintenance of the driveway down. If you want to do it in the springtime, by all means do it in the springtime, but always do it at least once a year. Your concrete, do every 2 years depending on how old the concrete is. If you've moved into a house that has a concrete driveway or a concrete patio, do it right away, regardless to what the homeowner says, because for all we know, they've probably never done it, or they just do it so rarely, or however old it is, you want to maintain it because it can crack if you don't seal it, and sealing it is always a good thing. But the bad thing about sealing concrete is it is really, really expensive. No matter what company you go through, it could cost up to a couple $100s just to seal a concrete patio, depending on how big it is. Like I said, we just put in a concrete patio 3 years ago, and they advised us to seal it for the first 3 years, and then you can get away with it every other year. So that's kind of the game plan we're doing it. So right now we're entering our 3rd year. We're going to seal it again this year, and then after this year we can skip every other year. And by far, it looks amazing. I love the gloss finish that it gets when you seal concrete, especially new concrete. Seeing it's not that old and you put a new seal on it, it's perfect. It looks brand new again when you reseal it. So my advice, if you have a blacktop driveway, seal it once a year, but give it a couple of years and figure out what's going to be the best part of the season to seal it. Concrete, seal it once a year. Doesn't matter the time of year because it's concrete. You just basically want to prevent the concrete from eroding away. So sealing it once a year is the best thing to do for it. The every other year after so many years, I don't know, especially if you're a new homeowner, you've never known if the concrete was been sealed. I would still seal it maybe once for the first 2 years, and then after that get away just to see what it does. Sealing, it's not going to hurt anything, but you want to see, you know, you're basically seeing, oh, wow, I don't remember that crack there from last year. Maybe we need to keep sealing this to make sure. You know, that's what I'm trying to get at. So to answer your question, blacktop every year, concrete every other year, depending on when the concrete was laid. Dreamy ZI04. The doorbell in my house is not working. It's a hardwired system. There's no lights on the outer 2 doorbell buttons. How do we fix? Okay. If it's a new house, or if it's a ranch with access to the basement, find out where the leads from your doorbell run into the house, especially if you don't have rafters on your ceiling in your basement, because chances are it's real easy to find. And why I say it's real easy to find, it's low voltage. That's what makes these things real easy to find. Doorbells are usually wired like your phone line in your house. So if you see a phone line, chances are if you have a hardwired doorbell, you can find that same type of wire. Now this is going to be wired completely different than the phone line, because those will probably go to a separate point away from where the phone line, or maybe where the phone line junction is, but you'll know because it'll be two wired system. It's not going to be haywired all over the house. So you'll have one wire going from whatever door and your front door going to a junction, and that usually is where another wire will go to your doorbell, and that wire, that junction, is what actually powers the whole system. So you just kind of trace it. The other first thing I would do is, if you can take the doorbell button apart and see if it has any type of voltage going through it, that would be my next best guess. Chances are the button, because it does get hit with wear and tear in the elements outside, it just probably went bad. If both of them are out, check to see if it even has any power. If it has no power, I would have someone come out and rewire a whole new setup. It's not that expensive, but to tell you the truth, it's probably cheaper to set up a wireless one. So get one. You can go to Home Depot or any one of the hardware places that sells doorbells and get the 2-button wireless system. I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to keep changing batteries in this thing, but technology is so awesome these days that you can even buy ones that hook up to your Wi-Fi and have little cameras in it. Like, you can go all out. And if people ring the doorbell, it'll actually pop up on your cell phone, and you'll see like, oh, like there's a camera that shoots at the person ringing the doorbell, and you can see it. It's like, it's out in a couple of commercials I've seen so far, and it's really cool. I would just invest the money instead of repairing the hardware, unless you're really anal about the hardwired system. I would definitely look into an upgraded feature as far as how technology goes with wireless doorbell systems. They're just cheaper, and technology is so much better that it gives you the option. I mean, everybody's got smartphones, so this is more of a security thing too. And you can see who's at your door. Sometimes a lot of these doorbell systems, you can actually talk to that person back through your phone. So there's a lot of cool, nifty features. So if you're really worried about, you know, having a doorbell in your house and that doorbell hardwired system doesn't work, just leave it. On older homes, forget it. I wouldn't even worry about it. I would, if you're really worried about voltage and maybe shorting things out, have an electrician come take a look at it, and then just let them know you want to either fix it or disconnect it. Doing it yourself is easy. They do sell parts, especially the buttons, if you have voltage at the doors, to replace the buttons and put a newer button in. But like I said, technology is so much better that you can just buy a really cool setup and have so much more. So, all right, trivia. What'd you guys think? What did you? I mean, I know I know all of them. I mean, I know the answers, all of them. I did have an issue at number 3. I just kind of read it too quickly the first time I was looking at it. I'm like, I don't know. The undigestible plant material in food is called, and I didn't know. I should know this one, but when I read the answer, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So, you guys think you got it? Let's take a look at the answers. Harrison Ford. Man, I thought it was the other guy. Obviously, break. If you're doing billiards, you break. So fiber was the answer for the plants. I get it. Okay. Silence is golden, of course. And then obviously Oregon is the state below Washington, and then before Christ. So this was an easy one. You should have gotten at least all, if not, 5 out of 6. Oh man, this is fun. I like this. You know, we're doing pretty good. See, I'm sticking to that game plan. I'm going to put another trivia card in there. Let's put this one back. Okay, we're picking a random one here. I hope you're ready. Oh, man. This should be good. All right, let's see if this lined up. Oh, that's another thing I'm working on. See, now this is that issue I hated. Here we go. Perfect. All right. No. All right. Now this is the younger one, the younger version. So, question 1, in Snow White, how many dwarves did she meet? Oh, this is going to be good. What is the proper name for the sport using bows and arrows? When heated moisture comes out of your skin, what is it called? What did Yankee Doodle call his feather? Okay, I know, I couldn't think of it. What language do people from Mexico speak? And what would you have done if you did the polka? It's making me think because I'm like, I know these are easy questions, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm going to overthink these. Oh, man. Wow, we're doing good. I like this. We are doing good. So, again, just a reminder, this is a whole new setup. This is our first run with it. I like it because we're way ahead of schedule, and this is what I was looking for. I wanted to keep my episodes at about a half hour. I still have my other new segment that we're going to get to, and we'll do the second trivia answer. So if you're writing these down or trying to make sure you know what the answers are, we're going to go over that in a minute. So, people I work with are going to love this one. This is a new segment. It's going to replace the vents, but even though we're still venting. It's called What Dirties My Fishbowl. And eventually I will have a green screen behind me, and we'll have little fishes in a dirty fishbowl kind of movie thing going behind me. It's going to be great. Can't wait. It's the last little expense, hopefully. I mean, what does a green screen cost, right? Nothing. Regardless. So this is what's replacing the vents thing. And I'm going to come up with 2 things that's, kind of pissing me off, and I figured, or something that happened during the week, I figured I got to address and got to get it off my chest. So this is what this segment's going to be called, Dirty My Fishbowl. Again, we'll have sound effects and movie effects and music. We're just doing a dry run here, quote unquote, dry run. Just to try to feel this out. So I hope you're enjoying the show up until now. Whoa, we have drop frames? All right, hang tight for a second. I get anal when I see things on OBS I don't like. Especially now that everything is set up. Because I wasn't having these issues when I was doing any of the Fortnite games. So I just want to make sure that the live stream is going. Perfect. So when I see that it says drop frames, but I have a green light, it just worries me. I mean, I could tell I was having some weird internet issues earlier. My computer was locking up for no reason. So like, see, it's dropping in between green and light green, which is not good. You wanted a solid green. I'm at 5,400 kilobits per second. So, I mean, it's good. It's running. I just don't want it to drop. And I'm only at 2% of the drop frames, but 991 frames. It's not good. So somewhere during the show, it dropped. So if you're watching still, I hope you're enjoying. Oh, trust me, it gets better. So here's what dirties my fishbowl. Here's what's pissing me off. Yesterday, for some strange reason, on my way home from work, I probably had one of the most stressful drive homes, and it was clear as day. Like I said, we just went through 4 straight days, actually 5 straight days of above average temperatures. We actually broke the record on one of the days, and all the snow that we had here that had accumulated is gone. Now we're having this weird rain ice storm now, but I don't know what happened yesterday, and it kind of pissed me off. I don't understand what is going on with drivers right now. Like, it's just, yesterday I had so many people breaking the law as far as driving and the rules of the road. And I'm driving, and I'm trying to go pick up my son from daycare, and I'm just getting nervous because I'm on the thruway, and I got people just tailgating me, and I'm going 65 on the thruway, maybe a little more. But I'm having people bum rush me from behind. And we have this big issue here in Niagara Falls, and it's not just Niagara Falls. It's kind of like border towns, stuff like that. And I'm sure we're not the greatest drivers in Canada, but my big issue is Canadian drivers in the US. It's a vent that I've vented before in previous shows on Spreaker for years about how I am so disappointed that it's one thing to be disrespectful of the rules of the road and you live in this country, but it's another thing that you come from another country and you think you can just do whatever you want because you're from that country. What's the worst thing they could do? They're just going to send you back. You're still putting a lot of people's lives in danger when you drive like that. So yesterday I had, oh man, we were just approaching, actually we were on Grand Island coming over the second bridge going into Niagara Falls, and there was this guy in an SUV riding my ass, and I was slowing down because I don't allow that. That's just one of my pet peeves. Is anybody rides my ass and I'm doing the speed limit or 5 miles an hour over the speed limit, and I'm passing people on my right because I'm a left-hand lane guy. I will slow down because that pisses me off. I'm going faster to pass people. I'm not going to get in the right lanes. It's just not what I do. So I'm getting my ass ridden by some idiot behind me in an SUV, and in my side passenger mirror, I can tell that behind him there's another guy in a red truck, and I think it was a Chevy truck, who was doing the same thing, just weaving in and out of traffic. And I had a feeling these two were just going at it. So he wanted to get around me because he wanted to get away from him. So I finally passed the guy on my right, and as we're going up, this guy decides he's just going to ride my ass up to a point where he could hit me, kind of get around me and get in front. Of course, I know that's going to happen. So as soon as I pass that car, I ram on the gas because I don't want him passing me. And there's obviously another car in a little bit of distance in front of me. So I want to be the asshole and says, no, I'm going a good speed limit. You should slow the fuck down. I mean, you should slow down. Sorry, don't mean to swear. It's family friendly. It's a family friendly show. There's no swearing. Until, you know, Brad Schiavone gets on. Then it's swearing uncensored. But I'm getting worked up because when this happened, I gunned it, and he got into the right lane like I assumed he was going to do, and he floored it, and he just had more momentum than I did because I'm not going to put myself at risk. I'm not going to put other drivers at risk. He got in front of me and slammed on his brakes and slowed me down, and I hate that. Like, I lose my mind when people do that. And of course, when he did that, I immediately have this reaction where I got to step on the brake. I have to see who's behind me. If there's somebody behind me, I want to make sure that they know that I'm stopping, or I have other fail-safe options behind me. If I have to weave into this lane, or I have to pull in the shoulder so I don't slam into him, or this guy doesn't rear end me if there's somebody else riding behind me. I go through a lot of problem-solving steps when I see this. It happens like that. So, of course, I look in my rearview mirror, and here's the dude in the red truck. Now, he just wants to ride my ass, but he sees the guy that passed me in front. I know these two were going at it. We get over the bridge, and he's just like that's all I see in my rearview mirror. So I could tell he wants to get around me. At this point, I've had it. I'm slowing down, and this is just not going to work. We get to the bridge. The other guy's already up and over the bridge. He's just weaving in and out of traffic. Like, it's pissing me off. He's weaving in and out of traffic. This guy finally gets that space. I'm like, I'm not fighting this one. I'm not going to get involved. But it is pissing me off that he's just being this idiot driver. This guy was worse than the SUV. He passes me, and he stares me down as he's driving by. I flip him off. He rolls down his window. He flips me off as he's driving by. And that set me off. I went after him right over the bridge. But as soon as I got over the bridge, I could tell cars up in the distance were slowing down. So I'm like, ooh, maybe there's a cop if he gets pulled over. And that's when I realized it was a freaking Canadian driver. I saw his Ontario license plates, and I was like, really? You're going to drive like that in the U.S., in New York? And in a lot of people, you'll be like, John, it happens all the time. I know it happens all the time, but it's stupid. You don't just come to this country and put everybody else who lives here's lives at stake. If I go to Canada, I'm not driving like that. I'm more subconscious about, I don't want to get detained over here if something like that. I don't want to get a ticket. I don't want to have to come back. I want to get into Canada, do what I got to do, and come back home safe and sound. These people who drive on the states, and they're so disrespectful. And I'm not trying to bash all Canadians. I'm just not that guy. There's so many people that I like that are over there, but those are the select few that come over here and are just disrespectful to everything that happens over here. Those people piss me off. Like this guy that drives, he probably came over here to see his girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and came over here and was just being an asshole. Again, sorry about the swearing. Came over here just to be a dick driving and putting everybody else at risk. And it's not just that. Like, we have a mall here. All right, there we go. We have a mall here, the Fashion Outlet Mall here in the town of Niagara. It's not too far from our studio. And you don't see American shoppers go into there, buy whatever they have to do, and then discard everything in the parking lot. You only see Canadians do that because they don't want to have to pay the tax going back over. I understand that, but don't be an asshole and just litter all over our parking lots. There's dumpsters all over there. They know, the mall knows that they get most of their traffic from Canadians. And that's why they put so many of these dumpsters around, because they know that these people are buying their stuff. They're going to, if it's closed, they're going to put it on so that when they go back over, they get that question like, did you purchase anything? Are you coming back over with stuff that you purchased so that we can text you? Blah, 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 blah. Like, seriously? Just throw it out. There's garbage cans. I mean, and the best part is that they keep the receipts, but they don't have the proper packaging to bring it back to the store. Like, how do we know this is what you bought here? So what dirties my fishbowl is the fact that the disrespect, not just Canadian drivers, but just Canadian people in particular that come over here and just disrespect this area. You don't see them go to Florida and just be disrespectful. I mean, they're way away from home, but anything that they can get a quick drive over here and just be idiots about it, it just, it irks me. And a lot of them are just rude. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, you're from another country, you should be the ones more on an edge, because if something happens, you want help and you want people like us to help you. Like, I have no problem helping anybody out. Like, if you got an issue, regardless to what country you're from, and you have questions, I will help you. But don't be rude and disrespectful to our side. I mean, it's bad enough over here on the fall side that we're trying to clean things up, make it look nice. And it's not I'm not bashing just Canadians. It's anybody in particular, but it's always a Canadian license plate that I see. And now I'm like, I'm getting all riled up, and I don't want people thinking that I'm really only bashing Canadians. I'm really not. It just seems, and it's just because of this area, that it's only Canadians that I see that are doing this. Yeah, we get our fair share of the people with the New York license plates acting a fool and all that crap, but it irks me. If you're from another country, clearly from a license plate, you shouldn't be doing stupid stuff like that. Yeah. So this is, so the other thing that kind of dirties my fishbowl, and we're almost done here. There's a study that just came out about how kids are addicted to YouTube and just the weird things they watch on YouTube. Like, they just scroll through and they'll watch this. And the other thing that I saw in this study they did is they're watching other kids play with their toys through YouTube. And I was kind of baffled by what the study meant. I mean, I have a 2-year-old son, and a lot of people are gonna think this is weird, or not weird, just think this is just asinine. He loves the phone. He does. Every so often we'll take the phone out, we'll put it on YouTube, and we'll put on like a cartoon for him to watch. But he's gotten so smart on how this device works. He knows where the YouTube app is on the phone. He knows exactly what videos he can watch, so he goes and finds them. But he doesn't just watch one for 20 minutes at a time. He watches it for 30 seconds, pulls the screen up to see the other tabs at the bottom, and then he sees another video like, "Ooh, this looks interesting," and he clicks that one and watches that. And if there's an ad, he'll know exactly where the skip button is and tap the skip button. And then it baffles me how smart my kid is, but at the same time it scares me. It's because I don't want him to be so dependent on the device, you know, so we discipline him, and he gets mad when we take the phone away. We're really strict on usage with this. It's basically whenever we're out with family and we want him to calm down, we'll put the phone in front of him so he can watch his cartoons, and he's really good. Or we go to the doctors, we'll put the trains on for him because he loves trains. But it's actually kind of funny what this study means. And at first I was pissed off. I'm like, really? Are parents that lack that their kid is so obsessed about YouTube and watching other kids play? It wasn't until, I'd say, about last week, and I wasn't really going to address this until I saw this study on the news the other day about this. Actually, I think it was yesterday, which is kind of funny. When they said the part of the study was the kids watching YouTube, watching other kids play with their toys, I actually caught my son doing that. He was watching some kid playing like a Paw Patrol kind of scenario with his sister or another friend. And, you know, they had to have been like 4 or 5. And, you know, they have the whole, you know, Paw Patrol costume on, and they're making like a really cool little kids show out of it. And I'm just watching them. I'm like, what are you watching? Like, I don't understand. And when he got sick of it within the first minute, you know, he does his little scroll up and he taps the next video. And again, it's another video of maybe a kid playing out in the sandbox. Like, who posts these videos? And at the same time, why do you find interest in these? Like, he doesn't watch the cartoons. Like, I put the cartoon ones on, especially the ones that are all like educational, that sing the Humpty Dumpty song, Twinkle Twinkle, ABCs, accounting song, all those little nursery rhyme songs. And I even do the little colors one. He watches it, but then he gets bored with it. Don't get me wrong. We do our interactions too. I'm not saying we're bad parents. We love reading to them, and we slack on it here and there, but we also play with them. We do the toys. We do the colors. We sing our ABCs. We have him count. He's pretty good at counting to 20. Potty training is going good. I mean, we got another one on the way coming in a couple of weeks. Actually, two months now. In 2 months, we're going to have another one. So I'm baffled actually how this is a thing, and I'm actually witnessing it. So it angered me at first, but now I understand because now I'm seeing it. So as parents, we're going to have to restrict it because, I mean, I don't have the phone. We use that phone. It's a backup. It's actually my backup Apple phone. We use that phone as a white noise because he seems to sleep really good with the distraction. I do that, and I got my wife hooked on it when we first met because she used to sleep just dead quiet, and I can't do that. I've got to have a fan on. I'm one of those people that have to have a fan on in the room, some type of white noise, and usually a fan works. And we noticed after a couple months after our son was born, we introduced the white noise to him, and he seems to like it. Now, he can sleep through anything. We could keep the white noise off. We could put it on. We kind of just do it now it's just a habit. We don't have to do it, but we also don't want it to be where we're walking around or we have to go to the bathroom and he's instantly up and thinks that we're up and ready to go. And it's 3 o'clock in the morning. So that being said, we just leave it on all night long so he has a distraction so he doesn't hear us walking around if we have to go to the bathroom at 3 o'clock in the morning because the bathroom is right next to his room. So it's just interesting that I had a train of thought where I was going with this, but it's really interesting how a 2-year-old is really smart with how these devices work. I mean, crap, a lot adults don't even know how this education works. And it takes a 2-year-old, and he knows exactly how all this thing works. Are we ready? Are we ready? All right, so here we go. Here are the answers. Boom. Macaroni. Come on, really? I have to figure out another way so this doesn't constantly focus like that. So, I thought they were going to name the 7 doors. There was one in there I read that had the 7 doors named. Like, you had to name each one. Archery, obviously. Sweat. I knew that was going to be sweat. I should have said that. It would have been a lot interesting if I actually answered the question to see if I was right or not. Macaroni. What one was macaroni? Okay, so what heated moisture comes out of the skin? What is it called? Oh, when heated moisture comes out of the skin, what is it called? Moisture. Yeah, sweat. Okay. What did Yankee Doodle call his feather? Macaroni. Okay. I vaguely remember that one. What language do people from Mexico speak? Obviously Spanish. Boom. What would you have done if you did the polka? Obviously it's dance. Dance. Okay, cool. Nice. I like this. I like that. That's really cool. Let's do one more. I was going to go through the headlines. I mean, we could still do that. This time I'm going to answer. I'm not going to look at the card. Another green card. Oh, man. Okay. All right, question 1. Where was Elliot's father in the movie E.T.? Oh, crap. You guys are probably going to hate me for this, but I've only ever watched E.T. probably 3 times in its entirety. Maybe less. I have no idea. Question 2. What game are you playing if you had a hole-in-one? That's obviously golf. How many legs do spiders have? 8. What did Henny Penny think hit her on the head? What did Henny Penny think hit her on the head? A stone? Which side of the road is the right side of the road to drive on in England? The left side. Because it's the exact opposite. Question 6. What was Pierre Elliott Trudeau's occupation in 82-83? Prime Minister? I mean, that's a Canadian question right there. Manufactured in Canada. I can't see it. There you go. Manufactured in Canada. Yeah, because another thing you'll notice with these trivia questions, you'll see colors misspelled, favorites misspelled. It's all in Canadian language. There's a lot of Canadian questions in here. So I'm assuming, what was Pierre Elliott Trudeau's occupation in 82-83? That has to be Prime Minister. I mean, I can't think of anything else. If I were to take a guess, where was Elliot's father in the movie E.T.? I assume I can't say he's dead. I mean, I remember the mom, I remember the daughter, I remember the older brother. I think there was an older brother. I'm gonna say business trip. I don't know. I really don't know. Let's see. Was in Mexico. Okay. Golf. Yes. Spiders have 8 legs. Well, obviously it's golf. Hole-in-one is always golf. Spiders have 8 legs. The sky. The left side, I was right. Yes! Prime Minister of Canada. What the hell question was the sky? What did Henny Penny think hit her on the head? The sky. See, I don't know that stuff. I don't remember that stuff. Oh, yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's show. Oh, wait, we got one more thing to do? Okay, one more thing to do. We're going to go through the desktop Yahoo page. This is another, this is what we call headlines, and we will go through this real quick because I didn't want this to be an hour-long show. You know, the vents get me going. So, let's see. And again, we will have music playing. let's see here. All right, so anybody watch the State of the Union address last night? That actually, I didn't watch live. I watched it this morning and thought it was interesting. Trump is not he's not a speech guy, and I never thought he was going to be a speech guy. It's just he's getting better at he's getting better at speech in general and not going off script. Like the State of the Union address he first did, he always kept going off script. Everything he did was off script. This one was good. Like he probably stopped himself and said things off script 3, maybe 4 times. But everything he said was pretty good. I liked what he said. It's the funny thing is, I just hope he sticks true to what he said, and I hope that this government doesn't shut down in the 6 days or 7 days or how many days are left, because that would be a real crying shame that, you know, another one of my events is going to be about this damn government shutdown. Oh, look at that. It's going to be 53 tomorrow and Friday. Look at that. You know why? Because the low is going to be 31, but that's probably tonight's temperature, like in the very morning. And then it's going to warm up to 53 overnight into Friday, and then it's going to drop to 18. Oh, that's going to be brutal. Thank you, Friday. Modern Family stars react to show's cancellation. Well, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Yeah, I was wondering about this. You know, I'm not big on politics. I want to be. I eventually want to be involved in my city that I live in right now. But this whole thing that's been going on with the women that were elected to Congress, the Senate, or the House of Representatives, whatever was there last night, they're all dressed in white. And I get it. It was a thing to show that everyone's united kind of thing. I guess. But I've been seeing a lot about her, so I'll have to read more about what's going on with this Cortez senator or congresswoman, just because I'm interested. I've just been seeing her a lot lately, and just her very, very, non-reactional face, right? Speaker Pelosi, President Trump threatens Democrats over administration oversight during the State of the Union. Okay. Ooh, yeah, Game of Thrones. This is going to be good. This is something I've got to get into. I know, this is another one of those. What, really? You haven't watched any? I mean, I've watched a lot of episodes in the various 7 seasons that have been out. I have not watched the whole thing. Every time I start watching it, it's not that I don't lose. I'm not losing interest. I just can't find the time to get back in, and I want to. And with everyone talking about season 8 coming up, I've got to get into it. We were actually just talking about this at lunch. If you started watching this now, you could actually watch every episode per day until season 8 starts. Oh, I saw Boy Scouts. I'm sorry. I'm pissed off. We vented about this a couple episodes ago about how the girls are going to be led into the Boy Scouts. It's just asinine. It is asinine. It should be separate. It's the whole point of why there's Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. And now it's official. Girls can now be in the Boy Scouts. Why? They need to be separate. And we were talking about this yesterday too, about now that the girls are in the Boy Scouts and it's called the Scouts, you're still separating them from girls and boys. Really? Ugh. This is the dumbest thing I have ever saw people do. It's, oh my head. Yeah. Well, we have them separated, boys and girls, and there's a Boy Scouts and there's a Girl Scouts, and the girls do their own thing, the boys do theirs. Well, we don't want to do that anymore. Let's have the girls come in the Boy Scouts, and yay, we're all together now. But yet you're still separated. The girls are still doing their thing, and the boys are still doing their thing, but it's just under one umbrella? Oh. This world makes me sick. This needs to be alcohol. Emily Ratajkowski's new $36 bra is so on trend. All right. Good for you. Father outraged after learning son walked to class in below freezing temperatures during school bus suspension. Okay. I mean, I would be mad too, but a little more common sense. If you know the school bus, or maybe I need to read this article. Maybe he was suspended. Oh, was suspended. Says that because his 14-year-old son Timer was suspended, he was barred from using the school bus. And I had to read this article, but first off, I thought it was because maybe the school buses were suspended and he had to walk. Use a little more common sense. Just take your kid to school. It's going to take you an extra 10 minutes. Big deal. Just be done and over with it. He's in school. He's learning. But if he was suspended and now he's barred from the school bus, I think you're still obligated to take your son to school. If there's no one to take him to school, you as a parent should still find arrangements to get him to school. That's on you. You should not be pissed off that he's suspended from the school bus, because obviously he's suspended for a reason and he's barred from the school bus probably because the event happened on the school bus. So again, another parent issue here. This isn't, I mean, the kid probably, whatever. Oh, I had a video posted on my personal Facebook. I should post it on the Niagara podcast channel about just this punk kid who was tampering with cars, and one of the in a little league baseball area, and one of the adults called him out for it, and this kid, when the video started, this kid is just all up in his face, and the adult just wants nothing to do with it. And he kept, he's trying to walk over to the clubhouse, and the kid's just getting in his way. And he ended up stopping for a second. He got on the phone to call whoever, I don't know. But the kid is just getting in his face. The kid's got to be like 9, 10 years old. And then he finally gets to the clubhouse because the adult's just pushing him out of the way. Like, he's just being like, I can't touch this kid. This kid's just, he's a kid. I'm an adult. I'm going to be the one getting in trouble if I touch this kid. So he's trying to get around the guy trying to get into the clubhouse, and finally gets to the point where he's in the clubhouse, and the kid just starts wailing on him. And then he's like, haha, that didn't hurt. And then the kid just starts wailing at his face, and then the adult lost it. He grabbed him by the neck, pushed him into the building, and slammed him into the ground. I was like, yes! And there was the reason why after he got slammed to the ground. Because a lot of people would be like, really? An adult slammed the kid in the ground? Watch the video, because after he slammed it in the ground, this is exactly why. He tells the story on the camera why he's just a punk kid, and he starts swearing at all the adults that are there. He calls one of the females that was, or one of the female adults that was there, a whore. I'm like, are you kidding me? Where is this kid's parents? Again, this is just absolutely asinine how soft our society is, that this kid has to act like this and basically I mean, really? I can't. I'd have to find the video. I'd have to post the video. I can't do it. So go on I'll you know what I'll do? I'll share it on the Niagara podcast channel. Look it up. It is a completely asinine video. I hate it. It fired me up. But at the same time, I'm like, that kid got what he deserved. You tell me what you think in the comments. I will post that. I'll find it and I'll post it on the Niagara podcast channel. Put in the comments below what you think should have happened. If the kid got what he deserved, the kid got what he deserved. Oh my God. It still fires me up. Tom Brady made this pledge to teammates after Super Bowl interception. I don't care. Nobody in Buffalo cares about the Patriots. We all hate them. Oh my God. This scandal thing in Virginia is unreal. You have the first thing to me, the first problem that I don't really particularly think is a big issue, even though I people who know me know I don't believe in racism. I don't think racism exists anymore. It's just not a thing. We're a society of one. We're all one people. I don't believe in racism. What I do believe in is hatred. People just hate. That's it. It's hate. It's not racism. I mean, I joke about like, that's racist. That's racist. But I don't believe in racism. We're too advanced of a society now, and we're in a country that believes in free rights. Everybody's free. It's just, I can't believe racism is a thing. I know it's still a thing to a lot of people. Racism exists. There's people out there that specifically hate a certain race. I get it. But me, I don't believe in racism. I believe people hate. And this thing that the Virginia governor is going through about a yearbook photo that he took, and his Halloween costume was, I believe he was Michael Jackson, and he painted his face black to be Michael Jackson. To me, is just absolutely stupid that people look at this the wrong way. He was dressing up as Michael Jackson because he liked Michael Jackson. Here's the thing. He's denying that was him. First, he apologized, and now he's denying that it's him. Regardless if it's him or not, if he's covering up his footsteps or whatever, I don't care. If it is him, big deal. At the same time, I'm like, unless he actually meant it to be a racist pun, that's different. But I'm not, every news outlet that's reporting this is all kind of saying the same thing, and I'm not seeing this as a racist event. It just doesn't look like a racist event. He was dressed as, you know, I just don't get it. I can't find the words to explain this because it makes no sense. This whole blackface thing makes no sense. Unless it's meant as a racist pun and you're calling out black people, that's different. I understand that. Now that's a problem. But every news, I mean, just because he's a governor and he should be acting, you know, more. This happened years and years and years, decades ago. Like, you can't call out a guy because it's not a scandal to me. It really isn't a scandal to me. The assistant governor or the lieutenant governor, now that's a problem. He's being accused of the, you know, sexual assault and all that, and apparently is a second accuser now. And that, to me, bugs me. That's another thing. Like, I'm not going to get all political on the whole sexual assault thing. Like, this whole Me campaign that started, a year or two ago. Ever since Trump got into office, it's like everybody rose up and women have this empowerment. I applaud them. I am happy, you know, everyone, whether you're a male, a female, black, white, Hispanic, whatever race you are, you're coming out and you're addressing these sexual assault things. I applaud you people for stepping up. But at the same time, my big question has always been, why now? What is triggering it now? That's what I want to know. If it's because now they're in the light and now you want to go after them, I have a hard time finishing this because it's just, I want to know why now. That's my question. That's my movement. Why now? Everybody's talking about the Me movement, the empowerment movement. I need to have my voice heard. Okay, I'm hearing you. I'm listening to you, and I agree with you. Step up to the plate. If you were assaulted, by all means, get in there. I want you to make sure you feel like you're let go. You're free. You're not held down because you were you know. Damn, we're up the hour. I've had this conversation quite a few times with various different people. And while I applaud, and this is where I'll leave this comment, because it's kind of like an abortion debate. It's just, you just don't debate it unless it needs to be debated. I've never been in this position. I know nobody that's been in this position. I can't seriously debate this until I know how someone actually feels and what they're going through and the person that put them through in that pain. I have no idea. My assumption, it's not my opinion, it's just my assumption is, why all of a sudden now? Like, what is the trigger? Why all of a sudden are all these celebrities directors, politicians, presidents, anybody with any type of power, why is it all of a sudden in the limelight? Why is it a big deal now? When a lot of these accusations happened tens, years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, more than that, past the statute of limitation. I'm glad your voice is heard. I want you to be heard. I want to know why now. What is triggering it now? What's making you step to the plate now? Are you being inspired by someone? And what was that inspiration from that person that caused you to be heard now, to have your voice heard? Or are you looking for your 15 minutes of fame? I don't know. But that's what I want to know. Like I said, I have nothing against anybody that does this. It's just I want to know. That's the curious thing. And that's what nobody reports on. That's what nobody cares about. Nobody cares about the why now. They want the me movement. That's more important. But it's happened before. A lot of people will just start panicking like, oh, he sexually assaulted me too, or she did it too, or la 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 la. Just because they want their 15 seconds of fame. That's all I'm saying. So my question, I always question everything. I want to know everything. I want to know why are you trying to have this issue addressed now? That's it. That's all I want to know. And then we could go on with our lives. Because think about it. This whole thing with, oh God, what's his name? He played in House of Cards. Oh my God, I can't think of his name. Why can't I think of his name? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's going to come to me. House of Cards. I'm looking right at him. I still can't think of his name. Kevin Spacey. This whole thing with Kevin Spacey is one of those things that I feel like, what was the point? I mean, it's a big deal, but at the same time, it's just like, it comes out, and then within a year, it's gone. And all of a sudden, it's back in the limelight again. It's just, I had a point, and now I lost the point. It's just because, and the only reason why I'm losing the point is because I just don't know anybody in this situation. I'd have to get involved in a way to understand someone's point of view of why they're doing it now, what they're going through, and stuff like that. I've vented on this too far, and it's probably getting me in trouble because I'm saying it, but I'm venting it for a reason because, like I said, I am for people who have to come out. If you've been a victim of sexual assault, rape, anything, and you've held it for so long, I applaud you that you've found the courage to come clean about it. But at the same time, certain laws in certain areas, negate that person from being tried for any type of crime. That's why, when the statute of limitations thing, I don't know if it's a state thing or a federal thing, but I think it's a state thing or even a city thing. You only have so much time before that evidence or that accusation is just null and void. I know it's a traumatized thing, but if something like that happens, I think you need to, again, this is just my assumption because I just don't know. I don't know. And that's the big thing. I can't vent on things in its entirety because it's an unknown. It's just an unknown. So I'm going to drop it right there and just leave it at I support whoever comes out and vents. That's just how it is. But at the same time, it's an I don't know. I can't go any further with this conversation because it's just, I don't know. I can't. I'd have to understand. I'd have to understand in order to even explain. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about the Patriots winning this. And we looked at it too. Patriots win the Super Bowl again. It's their 6th Super Bowl in 18 years, something like that. I mean, without a doubt, I've questioned Brady for years, saying that he's not the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm still on the fence about that, but I mean, you cannot deny that in 18, let's just put 20 years, because geez, I mean, this started happening around 2000, 2001. You cannot deny over the last 2 decades the best football team have been the Patriots. It's impressive. It's unprecedented that you've had a completely amazing football team that's been uncontested for almost 20 years. Now, I mean uncontested like they've just been consistently good. They haven't had one bad season. And it's not just the organization. You have a great coach, Bill Belichick. You have a great quarterback in Tom Brady. And now I'm on that bandwagon where, okay, I can say Tom Brady is by far the best quarterback ever. I still keep him at the top where I think Peyton Manning is one of the best quarterbacks ever. And the only reason why I say it is because he was able to do something no quarterback has ever done, and that's win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. If you can do that, I consider you to be the best quarterback ever. I mean, you still have to have stats to prove that or to back that up, and Peyton Manning did, but Tom Brady has just been with the same team for almost 20 years, and he just isn't stopping. He isn't slowing down. Now, we've seen things this year that looks like he's slowing down. I assume after next year, that's it. I don't think he's going to make it till he's 45. I think he's at that point where, especially next year, if players don't retire this year, they're definitely retiring next year. I can tell they're at that point where things are just going to start shutting down. I think the magic is finally withdrawn. I think you're not going to see a very good Patriots team next year. That's my prediction. I said that last year that I don't think the Patriots were going to go anywhere this year. I still don't think the Patriots should have won the Super Bowl this year. I think they had a very terrible team. They just know how to shift gears, and Tom Brady knows who to rely on if he's in dire situations to make a win or make something a win. And I think that's what you saw this year with the Patriots, because they just struggled. They looked bad. They don't have a really good defense, or their offense wasn't good. They looked middle of the park. But once they started switching gears halfway through the season and their record showed for it, you kind of knew them, like, well, typical Patriots. I mean, they always start off a little slow, even though they're doing good, or they start off great and then they run with it. But I was yelling at the screen in the championship, in the AFC championship game and in the Super Bowl. I'm like, every time there's a third down and it's third down and long, look out, Gronkowski or Edelman. Hands down, it's all that. It's only going to be those two, and very rarely it'll be somebody else. And if it is somebody else, they'll either A, catch it or drop it or miss it, or they won't be anywhere near, and that's it. They'll punt. I'm just surprised no other team caught on to this. It's just like their routes, it's always going to be one of those two, and neither team, the Rams or the Chiefs, could cover that. And the Chiefs game really threw me off, because I'm just like, how many times is this going to happen where you have a third and long or a third and short, and it's going to go to either Edelman or it's going to go to Gronkowski. They're not going to run the ball, so damn, I wish we would have did Trump versus Kardashian, because here would have been one. Kylie Jenner gave a sneak peek into her home, and it couldn't be any more Kylie Jenner. Oh my God. I am so sick of this. Like, we really care about what the Kardashians or the Jenners' life is really all about? Do we have to, like, admire their living? Like, I don't admire fake. I hate fake. I hate people who, hate's a strong word. I dislike people who get fame because of what's the word I'm looking here? I dislike people who have garnished fame through other people. Like, Kardashians are only famed because of O.J. Simpson and their father, Robert Kardashian. They're also famed because of the Jenner dude. I forget his name, because now he's Caitlyn. Okay, I'm sorry, Caitlyn Jenner, because she was in the Olympics, even though he was a he then. So it's just funny. It's just. Are we done? Wow, we've been on for a while. Headlines. So much for streamlining this. But once you start ranting and raving, that's exactly what it is. Ooh, yes, Captain Marvel is coming out April. Oh, or no, March, beginning of March. And it's really interesting how Marvel is doing this again, where they're just basically... this is how I know I should end the show, because I'm losing my train of thought, and I'm having a hard time finding the words. They're piggybacking their movies, and I don't know, I can't tell if this is a good thing or a bad thing, because Marvel comes out in the beginning of March, and at the end of April, Endgame comes out, the fourth Avengers movie, and I don't think that's a good idea. I think you should at least put Endgame out further. I mean, God, I'm anticipating. I want to watch this movie. I can't wait for it. But I don't know. It worked for them last year when, was it last year? When Black Panther, and then was it Spider-Man? One of those, or was it the second? It was Black Panther, and then maybe the second. No. Or was it Avengers and then... Yes, it was Avengers Infinity War and then the second Ant-Man movie. They basically back to back. It was, within a month or two of each other. And I just found that funny that Marvel actually did that to both of their movies, and not spread it out just so that they could build the hype on it and get more. I mean, they didn't need it. I mean, they definitely got the hype out of it that they wanted, and people still went and watched these movies in droves. All right. That is going to do it. Anybody chat? Let's see. Nobody chatted. Oh, shocker. Why are you guys scared? I mean, come on. We can talk about whatever. I don't care. Just chat about whatever. It'd be great. Oh, man. Next week's episode is going to be really good. We'll go, so just to recap, go to our Facebook page. If you haven't liked it, I know I said I would never do this. I mean, that's what the whole point of the ticker is at the bottom of the screen. Go to our Facebook page, Niagara Radio Station, Niagara Podcast Channel, not station. Don't go there. Niagara Podcast Channel, and like us on there so you can get up-to-date information, posts whenever there's a cancellation, a rescheduled broadcast, or whenever we're going live. You'll see that there first. And we will have the 3 polls. Do you favor winter over summer or summer over winter? What do you like best? What do you believe is a donut should be referenced as, a breakfast food or dessert? And what is your favorite chicken wing? Do you like the flat or do you like the drumstick? Oh my God, I'm tired. So go to our Facebook page. Those polls will actually be up in a little bit. And next week, it's in a Valentine's Day episode. We're talking about everything, relationships, you name it. That's going to be a really interesting episode. I hope you're ready for that. Single people, single friends, get them on. You're going to want to watch this one. We're going to talk nothing about relationships and what to do on Valentine's Day and what to do to impress the other people. We'll actually have some fun with that. We're going to stick to that same script too. We'll get right into it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. It went a little long, way too long than I wanted it to. And we'll go from there. So I want to say thank you for everyone who watched. Join with me today. And we'll see you next week, episode 6 on the 13th. Our Valentine's Day special. Everyone have a great night. We'll see you next week on The Jon Fischer Show.